Hi everyone, welcome. I'm James with Kinetic Data, and you're watching our orientation series. In this video, we're going to be setting up our local React environment to do front-end development against the Kinetic platform. In the last few videos, we covered the problems that we set out to solve with our digital experience platform. We gave an orientation of building your first form and navigating the API. And now we're ready to introduce the front-end experience and starting to build up an end user experience within Kinetic. So again, we use React. I've downloaded already a starter app that's bootstrapped to work with Kinetic. And we'll post the link to that repository in the description. So you'll want to open that up in your favorite IDE. I'm using VS Code here. And so I've downloaded that app. I'm going to open up a new terminal window. You'll need to have Node installed on the machine that you're running this local code on, because again, we're going to be editing our front end locally, which was one of the benefits of Kinetic. You can actually edit your front end in production without affecting production to try things out against production data. So everything that we change here is going to happen locally. And then eventually we're going to bundle up or package up our local code and deploy it to a web server that can then that end users will then see when they navigate to the Kinetic platform. So again, you're going to want Node installed and then also Yarn installed, and once those prerequisites are in place, our first step is just to say Yarn install. And so that's just going to take a second to download the couple of the dependencies that are inside of this this starter app. You can also use Angular or other front-end technologies. Kinetic Data, we just prefer React, and we offer some SDKs and some libraries that work well with React. But again, you can use really whatever front-end technology you'd like, and you can even bring your own user experience and port that into this starter app. Awesome, so everything just installed. My next step is to say yarn start. And it's going to actually prompt me here, where is the Kinetic platform server that you want to connect to? And so I'm going to use my hello world environment. Whoops. And so I just need the base URL here. And then I'm going to plug that in down here and hit enter. And behind the scenes, we create then an environment.development.local file. And that's what's telling React how to proxy API calls back to our platform. Because again, we're running locally. It needs to know which instance of Kinetic it should connect to. And so we're going to give that a tenant here to connect to. Now, once that's done, it's going to give you a URL in your browser to localhost that you can then go and pull up. So I'm going to pull that up here, and it's going to ask me to log in. So you'll use the same login that you used when you got your environment the first time. And then just like picking up where we left off the last time, I can see here's my test cap 1, my test form 1, and the different, my favorite color option. And now I can kind of dual screen this, and any changes that I want to make to the UI, I can make in my VS Code, and then it's going to automatically reload in my browser. So if we navigate through here, source is where all of the different components are going to be in the starter app. Again, this is just very shell, kind of a hello world starter app. So you're going to gear this towards your specific use case. It's all kind of starts off with this index.jsx file. I'll make this a little bit bigger as we're describing this. It's a pretty short, small file that's effectively just loading up our React app. And then it's also creating a context for our Kinetic library that gets imported here. And so the entire Kinetic app will be surrounded or wrapped with this Kinetic library. And then I can use specific components from our SDK within that library. And so I can see here the Kinetic library is surrounding eventually this app component. So that's this file. And I can see this file is handling some routing and handling the login screen. You can see here there's a header component, and I'm passing in my space. I'm passing in if I'm logged in, and I'm passing in the profile, and that's being used to draw up, this area of the header. So if I want to go in and open up that header folder is in global components header. And then this should look like basic, kind of HTML here, where it's got some classes. It's got the buttons to navigate my update user profile, etc. The sign out link. So if I just say sign out, hey there, and save this, now in my end user experience, I see now sign out, hey there. So it's pretty nice to be able to develop locally and see those changes automatically reflected. So when you save a file locally, it's going to automatically refresh the browser to reflect those changes. So we're assuming that the folks watching this course have web development experience. They can go into here and they can start to change some of the default styles that we have here in the starter app. They can bring in their own styles. We'll have a deep dive course into how the starter app is structured, our use of design tokens as a best practice, but just wanted to get your local environment set up. With that, it's a pleasure meeting with you today. Have a great rest of the day.